video, you'll observe a 5th grade reading strategy group. For this lesson, Natalie Friday-Mitchell, the literacy coach at Stehlik Elementary, tapped the power of the first unit of study and led a strategy group based on session 11 of interpretation book clubs. Notice how she pulled together a book club to practice this essential strategy. Notice how she also leaned on the work of the read aloud to provide support during the demonstration.
Okay. All right. So readers, I brought you guys together so that we could do some really important work. So the other day in our mini lesson, we were talking about how we could gather small ideas to create a big idea or a bigger theory, right? So we collected details across our book, and then we thought, what do those small details tell me that can then lead to like a bigger idea or a bigger thought, okay? So we've already done some of this work, but I thought we could come together today and practice it some more. And so I've decided to use Home of the Brave as an example for us. So we know that in Home of the Brave, we have our character Kek, who is living in Minnesota, and he's here from Africa. And we know that inside of his pocket, he keeps a little piece of fabric, right, that reminds him of home. So I was thinking as we were reading that book, I was thinking to myself like, these little details are leading to something bigger. And so I'm making sure that I actively think about those ideas. Like I'm really reading alertly, like we've talked about that. Reading alertly, looking for details that are meaningful, okay? So I thought to myself, Kek keeps the cloth in his pocket. Like that seems to be something that keeps coming up. And he clearly needs a consistent reminder of home. Like that cloth is reminding him of Africa. But then I also noticed another small detail that keeps coming up. And that small detail is that Kek is always touching that piece of cloth. Like he'll put his hand in his pocket and he'll just touch it, right? And so clearly that cloth like comforts him in some type of way. So I'm noticing little details, right? And that's gonna lead me to a bigger thought or a bigger idea. And that bigger idea for me is that maybe being brave is hard, right? Like Kek's in this new place. Being brave is really hard. And so having a reminder of hope or something that reminds us of home is okay. Like we don't always have to be big and brave, right? Like sometimes it's okay to have like a small something to remind us like it's okay, it's all right. So do you see how I took like several small ideas from the book and turned it into a big theory or a big idea? Do you think you could do this in your books or you could try? All right, so I want you to take out your book and take the first couple seconds to like flip through your Postits because you might already have several little ideas that you've been building across the book. And then I want you to think about what bigger idea can I make or build based on the little things that are happening? And I'm gonna give you one of my big fancy Post-its so that you can start jotting about these things. Journey. There you go. And this might look like you actually physically taking a Post-it out of your book and saying like, ooh, here's a small moment. Oh, here's a small moment. And then on my big Post-it, I'm gonna write what theory I'm developing or what bigger idea I can build from it. I'm gonna let you get started and then I'm gonna come work with each of you. All right, so let's start looking together. Like, what are some small ideas that you're noticing popping up through the book? Okay. Go ahead, you can read it to me.
Angela has straight A's, and how is that possible?
So you're already asking yourself a question like, this character has straight A's. Like, why is that even happening? Let's take this Post-it. I'm gonna write the page number on it so we remember. 20. Here's one idea. Let's find another idea that maybe connects to this, that might help us answer that question. How is this possible? All right, what are we thinking? What are we finding?
So, the kid, his nickname, she said that his nickname was IQ. So, IQ is not an A student. Like, he doesn't like to work. But then his stepsister, Angela, is a straight A student. But then I'm thinking, like, because between me and my brother, I'm a first grader, he's a second grader, and then if he could catch up to me, that would be nice for him. But if I was a straight A student and he wasn't, like, he was like IQ, and it would take a while for him to get like close to my level.
So what I'm really loving, first off, is that you are making these connections to your own self, right? To your own life. So one thing we could be doing, keep working. One thing we could be doing is thinking about how could we like write this out as a theory, right? Like we have this idea that IQ, he's kind of lazy. He doesn't really like to work. But then we have this other idea that his sister is a straight A student. What big idea can we make about that? Start jotting that down. I'm gonna have you scoot back so we can go there just a little bit. All right, Journey, there we go. Here. All right, Journey, what are our thoughts? I see you're already jotting something down.
I'm thinking, why did the author make Angela a straight A student and not IQ?
Ooh, that's a good idea. So you're kind of developing an idea that you want to explore a little bit. So let's think about, like, you're starting this question here. As you continue reading on, I want you to be thinking about how you can answer that question. I want you looking for little ideas that could lead to the big theory or the big answer to that, okay? Keep going. Oh, and I see you've been over here just pulling Post-its out. So can you kind of talk me through what you've pulled out here that's leading to a theory?
Because they have all these agents, personal managers and stuff, and they're going on tour. And I really think that they're famous and like do rock band and stuff.
Okay, so you're thinking, you're already starting to put together some of these ideas. Like there's this idea around these agents and these managers, and then there's these ideas that you're building around this like tour that they're on, or are they going on tour? So you're starting to develop a theory based on these pieces of the story, right? So what are some ideas that you're gonna jot down here?
Like I don't know if they're like going on tour or not.
Okay, so you're trying to explore some of their feelings about that. All right, very good. Keep writing this down for me. All right, I'm coming back over here because I saw you pulled out a couple other Post-its. So do those Post-its connect with this idea here?
Maybe this one does.
Okay.
This one, I'm not sure.
Okay, so we're not sure, so let's see. We know that Angie has straight A's and you're trying to figure out how is that possible? Like, we have one idea. What about this one? What's your question here?
How could Angela know how many people are exactly just
Okay, so we're trying to look at how many people, like how she knows this information here, right? How could Angela know how many people are exact by just observing? So you're thinking here just even about like her observations, right? Like one of her skills being observant. What about this one? You're saying you're not sure about this one. What is this one?
This one says, I think Angela doesn't have normal humanly behavior.
Huh. So let's work through this together. You're putting together some ideas. It's weird that she has straight A's. It's weird that she can like count exact numbers only by looking quickly. I'm starting to think, what's this big theory that she
That she doesn't have humanly behavior.
She doesn't have humanly behavior. So I want you to think about, what are you discovering here? She might be what?
She could be like a 12th grader or something like that.
Like maybe there's something special about her we need to explore, right? So I want you to think about, we have lots of little ideas. Straight A's, that's weird. How can she figure this out just by looking? This doesn't seem human. This doesn't seem like something a regular person could do. Start thinking about what theories you could develop around this character. Like what is something that we can decide based on these 3 observations, right? That's what I want you to put on your orange Post-it. All right, I see you're doing lots of writing over here. So what are we thinking now?
I'm thinking Angela has all straight A's, and that is not normal.
Okay.
Like, when I was little, I would get straight A's, but I would always have like 1 or 2 B's. And that's not normal for a person to get all straight A's, no B's, no C's, no nothing.
So it's like she's almost too perfect. Too perfect. So that's one idea we can jot down.
And I was reading the book, and I was saying that that's probably why what's his name? IQ doesn't really like her that much.
Oh, that's a theory, right? So you're starting to see like idea, she's really smart. Like she's almost too perfect. What's an idea or a theory? Like maybe he doesn't like her that much because of her being so perfect, right? All right, very good. And we're gonna come back here for a moment. What are we thinking?
Like, they have like Asian stuff.
Elaborate. Go ahead and just read for me what you've written here.
Going on tour and like he has an agent, manager, lawyer, producer, personal manager, which is buddy. Like it's
So what it seems like you're on this track of thinking about what theories we can make about all these other people involved in his life. Agents, managers, buddies, these people. So I want you, as you continue reading, to keep track of those things, those people. And I want you to start thinking about the big idea you can create around maybe how these people influence his life, right? All right, so readers, let me get your eyes here for a moment. Let me get your eyes here. Jot down your last thought, because I know we're busy collecting ideas, okay? So some of the important work that we've done here, there you go. Some of the important work that we've done here is thought about how these little ideas across our book lead us to theories. And you guys are all in the same book. And so it's interesting to hear some of you guys are coming up with the same theories. It's weird that the sister gets straight A's. It's weird that she's super observant super quickly. It's weird that like she's almost like unhuman. Like she's so perfect. We're noticing these little details. And so I want you to be thinking as you read on, especially as a book club, what theories can we start making about maybe the sister and maybe the relationships between some of these characters? Sound good? You think you can do that? All right.